Welcome to PsychWSigmund, the show where we dive into the fascinating world of psychology and explore the intricacies of the human mind. I'm your host, Sigmund, and today we're going to talk about a fundamental concept in psychology that affects us all: conformity and obedience. Conformity and obedience refer to the tendency for individuals to align their thoughts, feelings, and behaviors with those of a group or authority figure. This can happen even when it goes against our own values, beliefs, or better judgment. But why is this important in psychology? Well, understanding conformity and obedience helps us grasp how social pressures influence our decision-making, emotional experiences, and ultimately, our sense of self. The concept of conformity and obedience has been a cornerstone of psychological theory since the mid-20th century. One of the most influential studies in this area is the famous Milgram experiment, conducted by Stanley Milgram in 1961. In this study, participants were instructed to administer electric shocks to another person who was actually an actor every time they answered a question incorrectly. The shocking finding was that many participants continued to administer increasingly severe shocks, even when they believed it could cause harm or even death, simply because an authority figure told them to do so. This study highlighted the power of obedience and how it can lead individuals to act against their own moral principles. But what about conformity? How does it influence our behavior? The Asch experiment, conducted by Solomon Asch in 1951, provides valuable insights. In this study, participants were shown a line segment and asked to identify which of three other lines was the same length. Unbeknownst to the participant, the other people in the room, who were actually Confederates, would intentionally give incorrect answers. The results showed that about 75% of participants conformed to the group's incorrect answer at least once, even when it went against their own perception. These classic studies demonstrate how conformity and obedience can affect our behavior in profound ways. But what drives these tendencies? Research suggests that our brains are wired to respond to social cues, and conformity can be an automatic response to maintain social harmony. For instance, a study using functional magnetic resonance imaging, fMRI, found that when individuals conformed to a group's opinion, their brain activity showed increased activation in areas related to social cognition and emotion regulation. In addition to these psychological theories, it's essential to consider the role of culture and societal norms in shaping our conformity and obedience. For example, collectivist cultures tend to emphasize harmony and interdependence, which can lead to a greater tendency to conform. On the other hand, individualist cultures value independence and self-expression, which may encourage more dissenting opinions. So, how does this concept play out in real life? Understanding conformity and obedience can help us navigate social situations more effectively. For instance, being aware of the potential for conformity can encourage us to think more critically and make more informed decisions, rather than blindly following the crowd. In therapeutic settings, recognizing the role of obedience can also inform strategies for addressing issues like anxiety or depression, where individuals may feel pressured to conform to societal expectations. Consider a real-life example. Imagine you're at a party, and everyone around you is drinking heavily. You might feel pressure to join in even if you don't want to drink, simply because it's what the group is doing. But being aware of this conformity pressure can help you make a more informed decision about your own behavior. Perhaps you'll choose to drink less or not at all, and instead focus on other aspects of socializing that bring you joy. In conclusion, conformity and obedience are complex psychological phenomena that influence our behavior in profound ways. By recognizing the factors that contribute to these tendencies, we can cultivate a deeper understanding of ourselves and others. As we navigate the intricacies of social life, it's essential to strike a balance between conformity and individuality, ensuring that our actions align with our values and principles. As you reflect on your own experiences with conformity and obedience, remember that it's okay to question authority and challenge group norms. In fact, this kind of critical thinking is essential for personal growth and development. So, The next time you find yourself in a situation where you're tempted to conform or obey without questioning, take a step back and ask yourself, is this really what I believe in, or am I just following the crowd? Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, may your ego find balance between pleasure and reality.